welcome to this week's video. Our current topic is the 100-day project, and today is day 10. We'll be working on this journal page later on in the video. And first, I wanted to show you what's happened since my last YouTube video. So I've been working on this page and also on these little studies. I think I will turn these into an art journal book later. So I'm working on these individual pages. I just really felt like starting something new on a white page. It's so much fun to work in your journal, but there's something really magical about a clean white page as well. I don't often work on this type of paper actually when it comes to art journaling. So I'm sort of perhaps bending the concept of art journaling that I have in my mind. Because after all, it can be anything. These could become a journal, like I said, so I might bind these pages together because I've got a few of them now. Or this could be glued into your journal. The beauty of this whole thing is that you can do whatever you like. Everything counts. There are no rules. So I wanted to do a really basic collage. I had all these clippings because I tend to save everything. I've got little folders. I've got these where I hold my clippings. When I got stuff off, I usually just pop it in here or in a folder somewhere. And I also like to keep little things in little boxes. So I've got a couple of these. First of all, I love boxes and jars, so it's really satisfying to use them for something like this. So this was day 5. Just a little simple collage, a little bit of acrylic ink, and that was it. Very lovely and simple. Day 6, I was really loving what happened here. So I grabbed a different type of paper. This was some quite cheap watercolor paper. This was, again, quite cheap mixed media paper. And I created this collage. These are my old jelly prints. So I did some printing on some German homework, which was my husband's, some old papers that I found. Used those papers for printing. So now, as well as the paint and the jelly plate prints, I've got these little black texts and images in the background as well, bringing that sort of extra interest. These are just magazine clippings and some music sheets and very freeing scribbling on top. Again, very simple, but very lovely. So we had day 5, 6, and now we are at day 7. This is on cheap watercolor paper again. I added some collage, added some line work, and I took out a roller. So one of these, put some paint on the paper, a little bit of acrylic ink, pink and blue, and that was it. Loving these textures, absolutely loving these textures. And these pages, I think I will keep building on these. My plan is to put them together somehow one day, but for now, I'll just enjoy playing on these. Day 8 was a little bit different again. This is actually a really comprehensive view into my creative practice, to be honest. So I do love to do all kinds of things, so I can never focus on one thing for too long. And this applies on everything in my life. I want a lot of variety, so art journaling is fantastic for that. So in this art journal, I've been working on this page for a while now. So what I did, I added just this one layer of purple. It'll be fun to see where this page goes next. For day 9, which was yesterday, I added some scribbling here on the page. I didn't have a lot of time yesterday, so I decided to do something quick, and that worked really well. And today I'm going to be adding, this is day 10, I'm going to be adding some wax pastels. These are water-soluble wax pastels. I'm not going to overthink it, so I'll just pick some colors that are interesting. I find interesting in the moment, and then we'll see which ones I actually end up using. I'll add some color on the page. No plan whatsoever. And then we'll just see. I really like playing with wax pastels because it's very childlike to me, the way I use them. And I really love that part of the whole process. It's just fun, it's intuitive. It's just wax pastels. Nothing can go wrong. It's a safe way to play. And the 100 days of layers is all about adding 1 layer a day on your journal. It could be super simple, like a little bit of wax pastel or a little bit of scribbling. Super simple and fun. 10 minutes a day, anything you do is a bonus. So this layer, when I did these scribbles yesterday, probably took me about 30 seconds. The fun thing in all of this is that you can make the rules. It'll be actually really interesting to see what this page turns out like, because sometimes I do like to take my time with my pages, but this has been all about working continuously on one page. And I've been really mindful to just add 1 layer at a time and not more. So it'll be super interesting to see how this turns out compared to my usual pages. Because I would normally work a little bit longer on a page, longer per session, I mean. So it wouldn't be 30 seconds, to be honest. But this process is really showing me that why not? Why not take just a little while every single day? And that's such a perfect way to start cultivating that creative habit. Another important thing is to remember that you shouldn't feel pressured to paint. Now I'm adding some water, and this will spread the pastels around. If you're feeling a lot of pressure to get something done, I would encourage you to step back a little bit and just see, how can I take the pressure off of myself? We want this to be fun and light and not an added pressure in your life. Let's be honest, I think every single one of us has enough pressure on as it is, so we don't need to add more. Especially when this is meant to be such a lovely process. So when you start feeling pressured, I think that's a sign to take a step back and skip a day. And you can come back to it when you feel like it's feeling light and fun again, and not like, oh my goodness, I have to do my layer. Just try to remember that we're creating these rules. They are not real. Nothing is compulsory, and you get to decide. I get really in my head sometimes about this kind of things, and I feel a lot of pressure if I'm taking part in a challenge. But I think with this one, it really feels so light and fun that I haven't felt any pressure at all. If I do start feeling pressure, I'll let you know, and then there won't be a layer someday. But when the layer can literally be 30 seconds, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to do. But regardless, sometimes there's just not enough time. That's what life is like. That happens, and that's absolutely fine. white sort of layer on the page. That was maybe day 3 or so. And I took some tissue and I was tapping it down and pulling some of the paint, some of the white paint off. And that left us with this really lovely marking that you can see through the wax pastels now. And when I've added the wax pastels on, so another layer on top, that looks just stunning. It looks really organic. It looks really grungy. I love how different colors are peeking through. So this page is really getting more and more interesting by the minute. Now I'll just let that dry and I'll be back tomorrow for day 11. And you can follow the progress on Instagram. I'll pop the link in the caption below. And you're also welcome to join us in my Facebook group, which is Mindful Art Journaling with Kaisa Hart. And I also have a free art journaling course called Art Journaling Joy, also details in the caption. So please do join me for this adventure and let's create something fun together. I have really enjoyed the process so far. I'm so happy you're here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and I'll see you next week. Happy creating!